how much risk was in that system. Repackaged and re-leveraged again and again and again and again and again and again again and again and again and again. Repackaged and re-leveraged again and again again and again and again and again.
That's a scam!
Yeah, absolutely could pull it off without my math degree. Use very little math. Use a lot of elementary school math. Being comfortable with risk is very important.
Mainstream media has been doing a horrible job on reporting on what's actually going down with FTX and SBF. I mean, we know news outlets have their own agendas, and if you don't know this by now, you should. You should be researching your news source to see who their supporters are, who their donors are, if they're left-wing, if they're right-winged, if they're middle, and that really shows you how the narrative changes. And it's best noticeable when you're knowledgeable about a subject and then you see the reporting on it. We know Sam was connected. His family is well connected. He had political connections. He made large donations to the Biden administration and the Democratic Party. I mean, to this day, Sam is still scheduled to speak at a conference for New York Times. How crazy is that? I mean, this guy just scammed the whole market. He pulled off one of the biggest frauds while acting like he cared about effective altruism and he was doing this just for the people. And you're giving him a platform, making it seem like he had no idea what was going on, and this is just another cryptocurrency failure. Well, guess what? This is not a bad reflection on cryptocurrency. This is a bad reflection on bad actors and also centralization. Our vision is not for anybody to be in control of our money. Not your keys, not your coins. This is a DM thread between Sam Bankman-Fried and Kelsey Piper, a journalist at Vox, that was released on November 16th, where she tells him, "You were really good at talking about ethics for someone who kind of saw it all as a game with winners and losers." And Sam responds, "Yeah, I had to be. It's what reputations are made of to some extent. I feel bad for those who get fucked by this dumb game we woke Westerners play where we say the right shibboleth so everybody likes us." In response to his efforts towards regulations for the cryptocurrency space, he responds, "There's no one really out there making sure good things happen and bad things don't. Usually there's one toggle, do more or do less. Yeah, just PR, fuck regulators. They make everything worse. They don't protect customers at all." To summarize the rest of the thread, he basically goes on trying to justify how $8 billion of user deposits were misplaced. He says, "Our way of thinking behind this was, well, FTX doesn't have a bank account. I guess people can wire to Alameda to get money on FTX. And 3 years later, they suddenly realized that, oh, $8 billion was wired to Alameda. And oh God, they basically forgot about the stub account that corresponded to that. And it was never delivered to FTX. It's ridiculous, and explanations differ every time. He ends it with saying that his biggest mistake was filing for bankruptcy. He believes that he could have made the money back and opened customer withdrawals again within the month. And he believes that right now it's in the hands of people who want to see it burn to the ground out of shame. And he's still trying to save things, and he thinks that there are some people out there who are willing to help him. I mean, I'm not sure why this guy's still tweeting and publicly discussing this stuff. I don't know how his lawyers feel about that. But I feel like he's just been able to manipulate people for so long that he feels like he can still work his way out of this with just playing games and saying the right things. But do not worry, he's just at a coffee shop tweeting away and getting enough sleep. While mainstream media have been failing us big time, the community on Twitter have actually pulled through. Let's go to Brian Armstrong's tweet. Twitter has broken just about every piece of this FTX story using blockchain analytics, while New York Times is writing puff pieces on a criminal. Feels like a turning point for citizen journalism and the loss of trust in mainstream media. While FTX has filed for bankruptcy and all their assets are frozen, $477 million was transferred out of FTX's accounts onto an unknown wallet last week. The alleged hacker became the 36th largest holder of Ethereum because he quickly swapped out all of his stablecoins for Ether. Well, guess who was behind that hack? SBF. Turns out it was a collab between the Bahamas government and Sam Bankman-Fried. The Bahamas Securities and Exchange Commission has confirmed that last week's 9-figure FTX hack was actually done by Sam Bankman-Fried under their orders. Well, remember, Sam has resigned from his CEO position at FTX. As it turns out, FTX actually had no idea about this, and FTX has filed a motion with the court claiming that the commission's actions were unauthorized. Right now, we are at a place where we're just not sure how far the damage from the FTX fallout goes. We are witnessing the domino effect on other companies. I mean, there was about 135 companies that were somewhat exposed to FTX. We saw BlockFi pausing withdrawals and then later releasing a statement to their customers basically saying that we are not able to operate business as usual due to being significantly exposed to FTX. We saw Salt Landing go down. Solana is another greatly impacted by this. They had deep financial ties with SBF and FTX that has put high sell pressure on the price of their token. Also, FTX's role in managing infrastructure critical to Solana DeFi has caused a crisis for individual protocols as well, according to this CoinDesk article. The Solana Foundation itself appears to have avoided the worst of the crisis. It held less than 1 million of its balance sheet on FTX when withdrawals ceased. Also, I know that FTX had about $500 million in locked Solanas. That's unclear what's going to happen to those tokens during the bankruptcy proceedings. We are seeing bankruns happen all across the space right now. All major exchanges such as Crypto.com, Gemini are experiencing high outflows, major drainage of funds because as a result of the FTX collapse, investors are just fearful now and want to get their funds out. You are seeing that the community is just demanding now that they need to see report of the reserves and the liabilities for each of these exchanges. They are now demanding for everything to be transparent and true. They need to know exactly what the books look like. And even now you're hearing rumors of companies basically funneling funds to each other to make sure their balance sheet looks good. Right after they take the screenshot, they give the assets to somebody else so their balance sheet also looks high. And to finish the video, I'll leave you with a quote from FTX's new chief executive, which was also Enron's former liquidator. He says, "Never in my career have I seen such a complete failure of corporate controls and such a complete absence of trustworthy financial information as occurred here." Well, thank you so much for watching. That's it for today. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed. I will be back next week to update you on everything that went on in the crypto world.